So we ended the show last week wondering, would the Orange Blazer be out this week? You said yes. You refused to answer. The Blazer is out. Tennessee with the win over Florida.
I'm not going to make my pick until later in the week. It's not that I refuse to answer, but I'm not going to make a pick.
What was your pick, by the way?
It was Tennessee, 35-27.
Well, of course that was your pick. Like, you're going to take Florida when you're trying to get people to sign up for your website.
That's not true. I thought Tennessee would win. I thought Tennessee was a better team. I said at the end of the first quarter, if you're a Tennessee fan, there's nothing that Florida's done that should scare you. There's not. I mean, like, Tennessee's defense played soft in the secondary, and Anthony Richardson threw for more yards yesterday than he's thrown for the first 3 games combined. But it didn't matter because they couldn't stop Tennessee's offense. And until Tennessee intentionally tried to slow it down there at the end, Jason, they didn't stop Tennessee's offense. I mean, Tennessee was trying to close the game out and run it and that type of thing. It's getting out of their tempo. I think if Tennessee had just kept doing tempo with 3 or 4 minutes to go, Tennessee goes down and scores again. I mean, like, they could not stop it. And the offensive staff had it schemed up. Guys were running wide open. The wheel route to Jacob Warren was a thing of beauty. I mean, if Jacob Warren ran 4.6 instead of 4.7, he might have scored. Instead, it's just a big play.
Yeah, the punt protection was a concern coming into the game, but if you don't punt, it don't matter, right?
That's right.
Tennessee's offense was unstoppable. Bill Napier was super aggressive on offense because he knew that his defense was not going to be able to stop Tennessee's offense. Josh Heupel did a great job of scheming guys open.
Yeah.
I thought the receivers did a great job of catching the ball and making things happen. In the absence of Cedric Tillman, we saw Jabari Small run like a wild man. Offensive line did a really, really good job in the running game as well, and gave Hendon time to make throws down the field. It was a great team effort, especially on offense.
Do you think you'll learn anything? And I'm not trying to be negative here. You beat Florida, that's great, and we're in the Orange Blazer, everybody's happy. Did you learn something when you took your foot off the gas a little bit at the end of the game? You let Florida creep back in it?
Well, I think
because you made the point a second ago, and you're right. They should have kept going.
Well, but that's hard because that's a double-edged sword, Packer. Because if you keep going that way and you actually go 3 and out and you give it back to them and don't kill any clock,
sure.
And people are like, well, you got to learn to slow it down. So it's a double-edged sword. Here's what I learned about this football team: is they've got 2 big wins, right? Pitt on the road. How'd they win that one, Jason? They won it with defense. Offense struggled to kind of get going at times, and the defense was put in some terrible spots due to block punts and fumbles, and they kind of bowed their back and made plays. Yesterday, defense couldn't stop anybody. The offense stepped up and just did what they normally do, which is just put up point after point after points. Tennessee's found a way to win complimentary football, and you never know. At some point, they're going to win a game with special teams. Again, as Jason said, they didn't punt yesterday. That's a good thing.
You found different ways to win, and that's what good teams do. You can't win the same way each and every week. So, Austin, you said that Pittsburgh was defense. This game was about offense. Really, the only times that Tennessee was stopped is when we stopped ourselves. So, it was a great way for Tennessee to go to Florida.
Right there?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about. But in the past, Tennessee has found ways to lose games like this. And 2 times this season, Tennessee has found ways to win 2 tough games against, I thought, a Florida team that looked better than they have all season long. Even in their win against Utah, Florida looked really, really good, especially in the first half offensively.
Well, I think what everybody, has got to continue to figure out here is that.
By the way, what's the tackling going on?
Well, they're just trying to rip it out. You're trying to rip it out. But
tackle.
Point being is,
Coach Packer,
every week teams are different. And so the Florida team that played yesterday will be different than the Florida team that played 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks from now. There are very few programs that are the same week in and week out, week in and week out, week in and week out. And so, you just like going, it's not a good Florida team. Last week it wasn't a good Florida team.
they were good Saturday.
I think
They were
what
good
we're
Saturday.
learning right now,
It's-
college football is like the NCAA tournament. It is truly survive and advance because we're seeing teams that are losing games that you're like, what just happened?
USC barely beat, Oregon State
Correct.
on the road
Yep.
last night in Corvallis. Had a score with a minute and a half to go. Kentucky gets pushed. Heck, Georgia was only up on Kent State 32-22 with 6 minutes to go in the football game.
Mm-hmm.
Were they sleepwalking through it? I'm sure they were, but it don't matter. Like, the point is like, if you don't bring it every week, you're susceptible to getting beat.
I will say this. This morning, Jimmy Himes and Tim Irwin were on their show that they do every Sunday after a game day, and Tim made a point. He goes, that home crowd was worth 5 points. I would disagree with him a little bit. I thought the home the crowd and the atmosphere was probably worth 10 points because it was spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, the players fed off the crowd for sure. And that's Neyland Stadium at its finest. That's what we're used to seeing. And it was good to see Tony Vitello there hyping the crowd up.
Come on.
Everyone was back. So many former players were back. And it was like soul food to those guys being back home. But so happy for our players to be able to experience that and get a big-time win.
Here's what I know. You see some of the former players
Look at
right
Fred.
there. You see all those former players down there, players from all different eras. It was funny. Byron Young had to come off the field there late in the game, and he exited the field like at the 5-yard line. And
Passed out Wilson.
he passes Jonathan Hefney, and Jonathan Hefney goes, "You from South Carolina?" and he goes, "Yeah," and he kept walking back to the bench. But like Hefney was so proud, a fellow South Carolinian was out there making plays. But I mean, like it goes back to the brotherhood. I can tell you one person who was not down there with all the other former players because he was sitting in the ivory tower of his seats. Mr. Jason Swain.
Oh, where were you, man?
I didn't have a special sideline ticket. I'm not big.
Oh, whatever.
I'm not special. I'm not big time
whatever.
You can go wherever you want to go. Being as
nah.
big time as you are now.
No, man, I didn't have sideline pass.
He just walks up and shows his Twitter handle, Swain Event Boom.
Okay, so I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break right now. We've got Tennessee offensive lineman in studio because I want to go ahead and get to the player perspective and kind of what was the excitement level of the players. It was a lot more exciting than he's acting right now in the locker room, connected by Iris Networks.
Smile, Javantes.
Come on.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Iris Networks, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, and Exterior Home Solutions.
When it comes to the game of football, teamwork is critical for success. When it comes to customer service and business, that team approach is just as critical. That's why we're such believers in our friends at Exterior Home Solutions. We have seen firsthand how Exterior Home Solutions has supported our community and treats their customers just like family. So when it comes to roofing, siding, or maybe a complete overhaul, please make Exterior Home Solutions your first and only call.
Football is back, and OAB Law is excited for a season full of big hits and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OAB Law will come to your defense. Call OAB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Blue 2020 F-150 41990. Hut. Jake drops back. He's got a deal wide open. The crowd goes wild. With savings, whether you're looking for a low-mileage pre-owned truck to tailgate in or a minivan to get the whole family to the game, the Pre-Owned Patrol has what you're looking for. Only at Ted Russell Ford on Kingston Pike or Parkside Drive.
Hey, this is UT head football coach Josh Heupel. It's football time in Tennessee. When the Big Orange play, you don't have to miss a second of the action. Before, during, and after the game, just make sure your radios are tuned in to 107.7 WIVK. Or if you're on the go, download the WIVK app and listen anywhere. Your flagship station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 107.7 WIVK. It's a Tennessee tradition.
Do you want top-of-the-line fitness equipment for home, school, or work? New or reconditioned, Dynabody in Maryville has everything you need to build that gym. Used equipment brands include Paramount, Life Fitness, Nautilus, Hammer Strength, and Precor. Reach for the power with Dynabody.
So I think I was listening to you as we see some highlights of the offense right now as you were talking on The Nation with Chris Lowe, Austin, and you were talking about the fact that some of the players, the fans that is, as you see the great catch right here, which was really, really important in the game. What a catch. That the fans were smart enough to know to kind of quiet down when the offense came out just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that way anytime the home team's got the ball on the field. I mean, you got to quiet them down, let them go, and it's amazing how raucous it'll be when the defense is out there, and offensively, it's like church.
Well, and we've got
except for when that kind of happens right there.
We've got a player in studio right now who was one of the keys on the offensive front for Tennessee.
Yeah, and he's been really good at that right guard spot for the last couple of years, and he's only getting better. Jason Swain is joined by Javantes Spraggins.
Javantes, man, just how was it? How was it last night? Getting the win. celebrating with the crowd. The crowd didn't leave. You guys were up with the crowd after the game. Just explain a little bit about the feeling of beating Florida in front of a packed environment.
Man, Neyland Stadium is it's an explosive place, man. It was just a blessing to have all of Vol Nation there to support us throughout that win. That was a great experience. It's what we needed actually as a team, and man, it's just blessed to be in that stadium at that time. Just all the atmosphere, the noise, everything the fans give us is what pushes us through all those drives.
How was it for you watching your quarterback? He took some hits. I mean, the one hit where he was driven to the ground. I feel like he hurt his shoulder a little bit, but the next play he's throwing a football and completing it. From your vantage point, how was it just watching Hendon work and cook all afternoon?
Man, I watch it in practice week in and week out, man. Hendon is a guy, and he comes to play football.
Hendon getting national attention, but the offensive line has been getting attention from guys like Cole Kublik, SEC Network. He's a big fan of yours. He's a big fan of your physicality. Why do you think he loves your game outside of your physicality?
It's just every day with me. Even in practice, I'm the same guy. I'm aggressive, got fast feet. I use my hands, man. I come off the ball. It's just what's in me. Every other day at practice, I focus on these small things to improve my game, and that's why I think I get the edge sometimes.
Well, Cole Kublik discovered your style of play. He loves it, but there were some Tennessee coaches that discover your style of play, your skill set in a little unorthodox way. Usually, you go to camp and you get those offers, but tell the story about how you got your offer from Tennessee.
Well, I came in 2020 when I was a freshman. We did a camp out here, me and my team, and I was just actually snapping for the quarterback in the 7-on-7. And their old O-line coach, Coach Friend, he spotted me and he said, "Hey, man, come over here and I want to do a workout with you." Well, from that point on, we did the workout and got my measurements in. And by the time everything was over, Tennessee had offered me a scholarship.
That's good. That's good stuff right there. Last night, during the course of the game, there's a lot of back and forth. Florida scores, Tennessee scores. There's body blows. There's haymakers being thrown.
Yeah.
You got to get up off the mat each and every time. When did you know, like, we got them? We got them. This game is ours. We've broken their will a little bit. When did you know?
It never really fully sunk into my head because it was a play-by-play game for us. Like, we wanted to go out there and score every drive. So it didn't really cross my mind to the end of it, man. Like, hey, this just happened. We're here now.
Jabari Small, we were backed up. That 99-yard touchdown drive right before the half, we were backed up, and the whistle was blown, but Florida defenders were still trying to take Jabari down. And you guys on the offensive line was having no part of that. You came to his defense, had a little mix-up there. That's the type of football you like, right?
Man, that's what I love. We protect our guys, man. We in practice with these guys every day. We go through stuff together, and we play together. And that's just how it's going to be every time we get a situation like that.
After the win, how fun was it in the locker room singing with your brothers?
Man, it was everything it needed to be. Like, once you work this hard, and you work this hard, and you play even harder, like, and you get a chance to finally take a breath after winning something you wanted. Like, it's just an unreal experience.
Tennessee, Javontes, top 10 team. Everyone wants to ride with Tennessee now, and you remember when it wasn't that case at all. How do you block out the noise? You got a bye week, so guys are going to be going home. All the old girlfriends from high school want your number and want to talk to you again. How do you block that out and stay focused? Because LSU here in 2 weeks, that's going to be another tough challenge.
Well, us as a team, being together so much, it's already set in our heads, man. We're not putting anything past anyone, and we're not taking any days off. Every day is a grind. Every day is a work day for us.
Body, how your body feeling, man? Is a bye week coming at a good time, or are you ready to go this week too?
I'm ready to go every day. I'm ready to go every day, man. It's a good week for recovery and everything, but we got to mentally prepare to get ready for this next team. And as far as injuries, man, ain't no injuries. I got to play ball.
I love it. Javonte Sprague is one of the most physical offensive linemen in the SEC. Cole Kublik of the SEC Network loves Spraggins.
Well, I think a lot of people loved what the offensive line did for the most part in that Florida game. Let's take a break. We'll continue the conversations. Where does Tennessee go now in the locker room? Connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Commercial Bank, Humana, E2 Sports, and OEB Law. The Locker Room is brought to you in part by Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, the exclusive orthopedic provider for University of Tennessee athletics for over 70 years.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
D1 training is not only for the athlete who wants to perform at their best. D1 offers adult training programs because we believe everybody needs training. With a specialized facility, targeted workouts, and professional trainers, D1 Training has been in business 20 years strong. We'll give you everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is show up. Join us, D1 Hardin Valley or D1 Sevier County.
D1 Sports Training, the place for the athlete.
Humana goes inside the huddle, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but you have to continue to talk about Hendon Hooker because all of a sudden he's in the conversation for Heisman Trophy stuff. If he continues to do what he's doing, Jason.
RG3 says he should be the favorite right now.
I mean, now he's got to do it against Georgia and Alabama, and if he does it against one of those or has good numbers, whether you win, lose, or draw, that's where I think everybody's going to be watching him, don't you think?
Absolutely. I felt like going into this game, he was going to have a lead the band type of performance. You know, Tennessee quarterbacks that beat Florida, they lead the band. Casey Clausen did it, Josh Dobbs did it, and he did that. His performance was great with using his legs, his arm. I mean, he's very, very efficient throwing the football. Played through injury.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
You talk about the timing of the off week, not just for Tillman getting back, but for Hendon as well. I mean, probably a good time for him.
He gets healthy. Jabari gets more healthy. Hendon gets healthy. Cedric gets healthy. Now, the thing about Cedric is he had the same surgery middle of the week that Tua did. And it's where they go in, they put a plate on your ankle, and the tendons get sewn up, and it allows your ankle to heal, which allows the high ankle sprain, you're able to get over it much faster. Tua was able to come back within 2 weeks. 2 weeks for Ced would be a couple days before the LSU game. If that happens, that's a huge get back. Even if he's on a pitch count and he can only play 20 snaps. To have him for 20 snaps is a big deal. And so 100%, there's no doubt about the off week comes at a perfect time.
I'm going to direct this to Jason. To me, just on the outside looking in, there would be a difference of a quarterback being able to go out and play hobbled a little bit versus a wide receiver. Is there a way with this surgery you feel like that Tillman can come back and be effective right off the bat against LSU?
I've had a high ankle sprain. I try to play with it. 3 weeks minimum was where I feel like I was able to make some plays, but I didn't have the surgery though, and so medicine has advanced a lot in that time. So I know he's a guy that just being on the field, he's going to get the attention of the LSU DBs. And if he catches one pass where it's a jump ball situation, it's better than none. So his receivers did a great job with him not being out there. So if you have him, great. But if you don't, it's a good proof that they can make plays too.
But back to Mark's point about Hendon, you're going to be on this LSU game because CBS is going to go with the doubleheader that day and going to put A&M and Alabama on at nighttime at 8 o'clock. Tennessee LSU is likely going to be 3:30. That's a huge win for Tennessee.
That's
not playing at night.
Well, sure it is.
But think about this. And of course, we're sitting here in VLT. It's big for them. You're going to be likely going to be 3:30 for that, 3:30 for Bama, and I think probably 3:30 for Georgia. So I think you're going to have a lot of primetime games.
CBS is going out in style.
Yeah, the network is going to you're going to have network TV and primetime games for Hendon Hooker to showcase for the next month. So I mean, it'll all be on him to decide it, but he'll have plenty of eyeballs.
2:30 local time in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
even better.
Oh yeah,
early the better.
They haven't had quite as much time to
lather
themselves up for the game at night.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I do want to ask a question about just the game itself because I felt like that it was a very big story that could have been a huge story. That Billy Napier decided that he didn't understand how to add and subtract, and he went for 2 points when they cut it to an 11-point game. Goes for 2 to make it a 9-point game, which still is a 2-possession game. You don't get it if you're Florida. You leave yourself at 11. Now you're chasing points. You go for 2 again. You're down 5 at 38-33 when you get the onside kick. Had you just kicked extra points, he only had to go 20 yards to get to field goal range.
Correct. But hindsight being 20/20, they had not stopped Tennessee at all to that point. And until
Well, they did it again within 9.
Okay. Tennessee scores 7 points plus 9 SWAT Packer. 16, 2-possession game. 10, they kick the extra point. 10 plus 7 is 17, back to 3-possession game. So in his mind, he's thinking, okay, they're going to score. That means we're going to come back down and score. We'll get the onside kick, have a chance to tie it with 16. It's not as simple. Like, he's thinking, I'm not going to be able to stop them. He didn't realize Tennessee was going to try to go into the stall, get a triple zeros offense.
Okay, all right.
And I'm sure when he, I did not.
I'll give you that. I just thought it was Butch. I thought it was Butch Jones again in the swamp.
No.
Kicked the extra point to go to 27.
No, I think he was thinking, I can't stop them, so I know I'm going to have to get an onside kick at some point. So I have to have this thing at 2 possessions. So I've got to get the 2-point conversion, get to 9 when they go and score.
Is this your hypothesis, or did you hear him? Did he say that?
No, I think it's kind of common sense to me. I mean, the whole time. Why did he go for 4th down 6 times, Mark? Because he knew he couldn't stop Tennessee.
Because that's his MO. He did it against Kentucky every time he lost the game. Anyway, Jason, go ahead.
His biggest problem is getting the 15-yard penalty. It was 3rd down and 1 at the goal line, and he got the 15-yard penalty, and it made it 1st down. That was his biggest.
But Tennessee scored
mistake.
on the first play, so I think they scored on 3rd down.
Yeah, but I mean, if you make that stop on 3rd down, now it's 4th down. Maybe Tennessee kicks a field goal. But giving Tennessee a new set of downs when,
all I'm saying is I know he's a great guy. He's somewhat local. Family's over in the Cookeville area. I get all that stuff. He's everybody says he's the nicest guy in the world. Those decisions that I saw him make against Kentucky, where you're going forward on 4th down around your own 30 in a 1-possession game with 5 minutes to go, and you've got all your timeouts, and these decisions, those are the ones that get you run out of the SEC.
I will say, we'll see. I mean, again, it's first year. We'll see how he is 3 years from now when he gets his own players in.
Butch Jones didn't change. But
the biggest thing for me is, well, here's the thing. If he gets all that with all the aggressive play, people call him a hero. So it's against one of those double-edged swords,
Sure, you double down against 2 face cards. Occasionally you're going to.
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say about Billy Napier and the whole Florida program is, and I said this on the radio tonight, kudos to them. Tennessee went tempo all day. How many times did they fake an injury?
No, I agree with
Zero.
that.
Zero.
That was a great point of
They
view.
let Tennessee play their game. They didn't alter the game with fake injuries, and I got a lot of respect for that, because even if it was it wasn't Tennessee and you take them out of the equation and somebody else going tempo, you're allowing that team to do what they do, and you either stop it or you don't. Faking injuries to help your defense is a form of cheating, a legal form of cheating.
Can I ask you the other side of it, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
He lost with you respecting him. Lane Kiffin won with you disrespecting him. Jason, do you?
I mean, Lane won because his quarterback had 200 yards rushing.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I look at it.
There was that too. Yeah.
I mean, you know, and then the scoop of score that Tennessee had was taken off the board. So I got a lot of respect for Billy Napier and what he was able to do against Tennessee yesterday. I mean, I thought the offensive game plan was pretty dang good, honestly.
Okay. We got to take a break and talk about what does Tennessee do during the off week. That's in our last segment when we come back. By the way, as we go to break, you can support the Big Orange as well. Be a member of the Volunteer Club. Go to volunteerclub.com. Partner yourself up with Spire Sports by being a member of the Volunteer Club. We'll be right back.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Pilot Company, Ted Russell Ford, Food City, and Lincoln Memorial University.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costad. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Matlock Tire has a reputation for being a little bit old school. We're proud to be known for our outstanding hometown customer service. We've been doing things that way for over 60 years. But Matlock now offers new modern conveniences, such as family-friendly waiting areas, online appointment scheduling. You can even shop for tires and see our current stock right from your computer or smartphone. We invite you to stop into one of our 5 convenient locations or come see us online at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown service. Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
125 years ago, LMU was born out of the desire to provide opportunity to the underserved, a living memorial to a great president who believed knowledge was a transformative force. Over the decades, we've prepared students for careers in medicine, education, nursing, business, and law, so they can go serve their communities. While a lot has changed over the past 125 years, our mission has not. Values, education, service. This is Lincoln Memorial University.
Speaking of Spire Sports and your opportunity to be part of the Volunteer Club, you can also win lunch with the Vols. Go to HillaryFrostHomes.com. There is a place on there for you to register for you and 3 of your friends to have lunch with the Vols. We will announce the winner Sunday night, December the 4th, right here on the Locker Room
Yeah,
Show.
for as little as $5 a month, you have a chance to get some cool swag, whether it be koozies or hats or signed pictures and memorabilia, and get invited to things like the Spire Sports Tailgate, which Saturday they had Smashburger out there. They had Zakai Ziegler and Josiah Jordan-James and Roche.
Oh, here we go again.
The baseball team, Drew Beam, Chase Dolander, all those guys were out there taking pictures, signing autographs.
Yeah.
They had smoked gator. They had smoked some gators starting at 5:30 in the morning. So, a fun time out there.
Jason, tell me as a player, how much do you look forward to an off week, or do you want an off week if you're a player?
It depends on how you feel, and it depends on if you won the game or not. So for these guys who are healthy, man, this is a good time to go home and, kind of visit your family and kind of revisit that reason why, get charged up again. And for guys who are banged up, this is a perfect time for them to get healthy again, get that treatment in and get ready for next week. So
is this a good time with 1 minute to go?
It's a great time. You go back to 2016. They beat Florida. They beat Georgia. They went to A&M and then Bama.
Yeah.
Not this year. They beat Florida, bye week. Then at LSU, Bama. Then another bye week with UT Martin coming to town.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention Tennessee up to number 9 in the coaches poll, number 8 in the AP. You know you're going to be in the top 10 at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
I mean,
you win that game, potentially could be a top 5 matchup with Alabama in town.
There you go. All right. Hey, thanks for making us a part of your night here on the Locker Room, connected by Iris Network. Tennessee off this week, then at LSU the following Saturday. We will see you next Sunday night. So, in all seriousness,